Veterinarians of Reddit. What do pet owners ignore the most? I believe that the finest thing you can do for your new pet, particularly a puppy or kitten, is to handle it frequently when it is young. Getting them used to having their feet handled, nails trimmed, mouths opened. Even more benefit if you get them used to brushing their teeth daily. Gold standard for at-home dental care. Ears touched, especially breeds prone to ear infections. Huge benefit in the future if you have to administer topical ear medication. Restraint is also crucial. I constantly advise my clients to train their animals to be restrained because it hasn't learned to be okay with restraint. That wriggly puppy that is cute when it nips, when you hold it grows up to be a massive dog that can't be properly examined. Thank you for mentioning restraint. Restraint's very important in making sure pets can coincide with their environments. I used to know a horse trainer that trained all her horses to stand perfectly still if you wrapped a rope around their legs. Not just useful for a vet etc. But the main goal paid off when one of hers didn't come in at the usual time one day. She goes to look for him and finds a barbed wire fence had blown over and he'd got tangled in it. Per training he stood still and waited for rescue, taking no injury, where most horses would have been seriously injured and very possibly need put down. My horse was horrible trained. It saved his life when he rolled next to my fence and got his hind leg hooked under the board. A lot of other horses would have kicked until they broke a leg. He waited patiently for me to take the fence apart and free him. Farriers, I'm one, will also love a horse that is used to having pressure on their feet and legs. I wish more trainers spent time on the groundwork. It's the foundation for everything on a horse. People who carry their toy breeds everywhere and feed them human food instead of dog food. They are killing their pets slowly. My vet said this to me as we were walking our dogs on the beach. Apparently lots of small breeds get very little exercise and are extremely overweight. I got landed with a little dog. Tiny little thing, she went everywhere with me. Walked miles. Sat on the kayak like Cleopatra on her barge. Loved car boots plus meeting people. Heart of a lion. Loved to play with a wee stick, more of a twig. Age 15. She had a couple of fatty masses removed. The vet said he used the opportunity to remove any bad teeth for her too. Went on to make a full recovery plus keep all her teeth. To my vet's astonishment, her teeth were fine. I miss my little lady so much. Teeth and quality of life in older senior animals. What's the most accessible thing the average owner can do to improve their pet's oral health? If we are talking dog/cat, you'd be surprised how many animals will allow you to brush their teeth if you work up to it slowly over time and start young. My cats are rescues that were not socialized before I got them. I got them when they were about 3 years old. Toothbrushes are off the table. It doesn't work for all of them, but I have had adult cats that will slowly take to a finger brush. If your cats allow you to otherwise handle and pet them regularly, you can try the following. Start with a flavored enzymatic toothpaste for cats and just place a small amount on your finger at first and allow them to investigate and lick it off. Do this once a day until it's an expected part of the routine. Then start just briefly putting said finger under the lips and rubbing the surface of the teeth. If they come to tolerate this, you can try gradating to a little finger brush that sits on the tip of your finger for additional mechanical tartar control. But even just using a finger and enzymatic toothpaste can be helpful. Husbandry advice. But dietary advice in general. I see a lot of animals being fed inappropriate diets, which owners will refuse to stop feeding because the animal likes it. My sister has been complaining about her chihuahua's medical bills getting higher and higher when said chihuahua is a fat 4 kilograms and all those issues are related to her weight. That dog is barely even 7 now and already had more medical issues than all 3 of my cats combined. Youngest cat is 6 and oldest is 11. All get appropriate nutrition and don't get our scraps 3 times a day plus their own food. They also have to work for treats. That poor dog's tiny legs can barely carry the weight anymore. To be in a good range she would need to lose at least 1 kilogram. This makes me sad as someone who owns a previously fat chihuahua. It wasn't hard to get her to lose the weight. A nice walk every day for 20 minutes. Measured out her meals and set some aside so there were calories to spare for treats. People acting like their pet's weight is a hard thing to alter and it's not. It's stupidly easy. That is the same sister who has claimed I abuse one of my cats because he is too skinny. No, he is just a very long boy. He is a Bengal and the perfect weight for how big he is. As I said, let them work for treats and keep them active, and you already did something to keep your pets in shape. But no, instead she lets her well-meaning neighbors feed her dog even fatter. That's one of the first things I had to teach my Mel. She loves the cats, but she now also only gets to give them treats when either of us tells her it's okay. I understand that it can be hard to ignore the big cute kitten eyes they make at you, but it's for their own good. We let them sit or do other tricks and then they get something. Keeps their brains working too. Exactly. My mom likes to give my Kai treats and snacks. And the only reason I let it slide is because I then remove some of her dinner later or take her for an extra long walk. We build up that 20 minutes and now she's super fit. She will do hours and hours of walks with me perfectly happy. She's in great condition. Her previous owners couldn't believe it was the same dog. I don't understand people. I really don't. Used to work with a woman who fed her golden retriever Chinese takeaway almost every day. She ate the same and both her and the frog were massively obese. She ended up getting a carriage type thing to take the dog out because the poor thing was so huge she couldn't walk. She claimed to love her dog, but was killing her with rubbish food. I read that as the frog, and I thought, my god, she has a fat pet frog she's killing too, and Loki died. Oral hygiene. Do dental bones/dental chews help, or are they a gimmick? They do help. However, you also have to brush their teeth and do annual dental cleanings if they can undergo general anesthesia. General anesthesia annually for dental cleanings. Can I ask how much this typically costs? What percentage of your pets have this done? I've never met a person who has ever told me any of their pets has ever had a dental cleaning. I assume it just isn't a great topic of discussion. My sister spent $6,000 keeping a dog alive after a fungal infection. Do you mind sharing why? Is it because there are diseases that begin in the mouth and progress to early pet death? Are there studies showing annual dental cleanings will allow an animal to live a longer life? Is it because of what pet owners feed their pets? My dog just had one last time he was at the vet a few months ago. We have a health plan through the vet's office where we pay like $75 MO and get a bunch of things in return. Teeth cleaning being one of them. Regular checkups, medications, etc. We also get a discount on basically any other major stuff he might need. God forbid. Maybe more vets need to offer this service. It works great for us. In fact, we got both my brothers and their 4 dogs at the same vet and on the plan as well. It's a win-win because we end up getting our dog to the vet more regularly and we pay less. So we save money and he's healthier. Please give your unwanted pets up for adoption. Or at least put a little effort into giving your pets a future home. Summer is season for abandoning pets in the wild. Even though many won't survive in nature, let alone the cold climate in some countries. You have responsibilities FFS. Just because the poor pet suddenly doesn't fit into your lives, it doesn't mean it has to suffer. It's one of the few things that I just cannot empathize with is dumping a pet. Needing to rehome a pet. Absolutely. We all end up in situations that we couldn't have foreseen, and my heart breaks for anyone faced with that decision. But then take it to a rescue. There is never an excuse to dump an animal in the wild for any reason. For real. There's no fucking reason to just dump an animal in the woods, or leave kittens in a garbage can, or put puppies in a bag and throw them into the river, or leave your dog on a 1-foot chain in the backyard when you're moving. It's disgusting, and I hope the people who do that burn in hell for some amount of time. This might not be the most ignored, but it's the one that if ignored, cause the most suffering. Deciding the time to put your pet to sleep. Some people tell us that they aren't ready. Which is sad, and I know it's going to be the hardest choice you'll ever need to make regarding your little one. But the hard truth is, it's not about you. If your pet is crying all night, not eating without you force feeding one bit at a time, and can't even walk on its own, it's time. Most of the time our animals tell us when they are ready, and they trust that you'll do what's best for them. We have an amazing opportunity with animals, which is to let them go when their quality of life just isn't there anymore. And selfish owners that refuse just because they can't handle it yet is half the reason why working in the industry will not be long term for me. Thank you for saying this. We recently had to put our dog to sleep. Everything happened so fast it was hard to process. Saturday she got lumpy. Sunday she was slow, and by Monday morning she couldn't walk and didn't know where she was. I felt so guilty for thinking that we needed to put her down, but now that I've had time to actually think, it was the best decision for her. I can't think of being that selfish. Sorry for getting sad, but your comment made me feel better. Obesity and sadly, pain. I have met many owners who have had lame dogs for weeks and didn't think the animal was in pain. Sometimes we have even discovered after x-rays that the animal has a fracture. My favorite is when clients come in to get the stitches removed from their dog's pee and hand back the pain meds that they paid for us to dispose of because I didn't need to give any. She wasn't in any pain. Like I'm sure having your guts cut open and an organ ripped out is just a walk in the park for you. But I think Fluffy would have appreciated some pain relief. That makes me so sad. How is it up to them to decide that? I'm a veterinarian. I'd like to see people focus, not just on quantity, but quality of their pet's life. The best thing you can do for that is just incorporate them into your life as much as possible. Pay attention to them. Love them. Lots of walks. Lots of games. You'd be surprised what they can learn. Play hide and go seek. Play fetch. Sit beside them when you watch TV. Pet them. Train and socialize them early and well, so you won't avoid them because they are not well behaved. We're all so busy. It's so easy to make them an afterthought. You are their whole world, and unless you live on a big farm where they run free, you are their only outlet for activity and happiness. They get bored fast, just like we do. They can't wait for you to get home. They've missed you. Take them for a walk. Do a fun training or agility class with them if you'd like. For health, the biggest things are 1. Exercise. 2. Pay attention to what can be dangerous/toxic for them and avoid it. Head stuck in potato chip bags is one people miss lately. And keep your drugs out of their reach. They're small and more easily affected. 3. Brush their teeth. Enjoy your pets. They love you. I recently stumbled upon these wipes for dogs' teeth. You literally go in there and wipe their teeth off. I have a shepherd, land shark, and if I go in with a brush or finger brush, she tries to gnaw it like a toy. But if I'm looking in her mouth with just my hand and the wipe, she is totally calm. I've only used them twice so far, but are the wipes okay to use? Are they even effective? I'd be interested if that works. Not a vet yet, still in school. But probably medical advice from veterinarians. Only halfway joking. Lots of owners are great, but lots also will blatantly tell vets that they are wrong. Their 8+ years of education is less than the medical advice given to them by some random TikToker or the kid who stocks shelves at the local pet store. On a serious note, obesity. Such a large number of animals are obese that people think it's normal and animals at an appropriate weight are too thin. My so has even fought me on what the dogs should get to eat vs what he feeds them. It took another vet to tell him that his dog was fat to actually listen to my advice. A funny, related story. My clinic has handouts with common treats for dogs like cheese, ham, PB and the human caloric equivalents in donuts. My parents, who are notorious for owning morbidly obese animals, tried to calculate how many slices of ham my dog needed to get each day while they were pet sitting, because it was only 10th number of donuts. My plan to prevent them from overfeeding my dog backfired. She ended up gaining over 5 pounds in 3 weeks, which is a lot for a 45-pound dog. All of those human snacks and treats really add up. I don't know why people think chunky dogs are cute. Yeah, I'm sure a little extra meat on the bone is perfectly healthy, but I'm talking like these fatter dogs that can't breathe and struggle to walk. Too many times I've seen posts on Facebook, Reddit and TikTok, and it's just like you're literally giving your dog a slow death. He's not fat. He's chunky. No, he's not fat, he's morbidly obese, and you're going to shorten his already too short lifespan because you can't handle being the only fat thing in the room. We'll make fun of our chunky dogs while they're on a diet to get back to normal weight. You don't need any treats, you pressure-packed pig dog. We walk them for an hour a day. It's not usually long for them to get the weight off. Teeth. I know it's been said already, but my girl cat, 9 years, had teeth that looked fine. According to the vet. Her brother didn't, so we booked them in together for checkup, and a scale and polish etc. Her too because of their age. All the stomach issues she had went away. No more random vomiting of food. All her energy went back to kitten speed. I feel like the worst human for not getting it done earlier, even though it looked fine. Edit to say I'm not a vet, but it might help someone else. Vet tech here. I mainly work with exotics. Basically any animal beyond farm/dog/cat, though a lot goes hand in hand with all pets. 1. Obesity. Yes, large animals are cute, but their health is not. I've seen many obese lizards with severe liver issues that cause nasty irreversible damage to their bodies. Same in dogs if not worse. Chihuahuas are not meant to be 20 plus pounds. For example, they're a small breed with a small frame. They cannot handle all that weight on their tiny bodies. 2. Diet/nutrition. Far too many carnivorous pet owners come in that their pet is having issues going to the bathroom, not holding weight, having malnutrition issues such as vitamin deficiencies. Cats and ferrets, for example, are obligate carnivores. Meat is the biggest and should be the main part of their diet. A treat here and there of other things is no issue, but should not be more than 5% of diets in many pets. 3. Husbandry. Tanked and or caged animals need the space to move and get some exercise if they are not given time outside of their cage. And for God's sake, please do not get parrots if you cannot let them out of their cage for a minimum 4 hours a day. Even then, that's very little interaction and can cause hormonal and behavioral issues. 4. Unfortunately, finances. Yes, you may have paid a pretty penny for your animal, but costs do not stop after you leave the place with your new pet. Your pet will need constant supply of food, vitamin and mineral supplements, toys, at-home grooming supplies, cage upgrades, etc etc. If you are unable to provide any of those, not even mentioning vet visits, it is not a good idea to have said pet. We all end up in a pinch from time to time, and we as vets and vet techs understand that wholeheartedly. We have experienced those moments as well. But there comes a time where you need to consider your pet's needs over your own. Companionship via pets is a privilege, and we should fully accommodate all needs that arise for our animals. And if we can't, then we need to consider what is best for that animal, many times resulting in a home situation, or someone who can help while we work things out. There's so much more, but many are mainly pointing out dog and cat related issues. So I just wanted to pipe in with some insight on other pets. Close bracket. My vet was thoroughly impressed of my knowledge of parrots, and I was all well. I researched for a couple years, and he said yeah, most PPL don't do that. ESP for birds. I said what? Monk parrots live 30 years. I needed to make sure I was capable. Parrots are wild with their lifespans. I have a hard time imagining committing to an animal that will likely outlive me. He's 21 now and worth it. Finished his hand feeding myself. After extensive research. He's old and arthritic, birth defects, wonky legs, and sweary now, but he's my feathery jerk, so all good. My username. 1. Cost of ownership, cost of obtaining animal. Most people freak out that cost of keeping the animal is more expensive than getting the animal. Go figure. 2. Preventive care, vaccines, deworming, wellness exams, laboratories, x-rays and dental cleanings etc. 3. Basic hygiene, not brushing their teeth, not grooming or brushing fur, not clipping their nails, not bathing them, not cleaning ears, not cleaning their assholes. It's worse for the older pets. 4. Basic physiology. Yes, your mammal pet has nipples. You think it's an emergency that your both intact male and female dog are stuck for 2 minutes? No sir. That's a vulva. Bird beaks to keep growing. 5. Basic behavior. Dogs do have sexual behaviors. Many do reproduce sexually. Tail wagging does not mean happiness. Yes, your dog barks. Yes, your cat likes scratching items. 6. Basic enrichment. Your pet is likely bored. Give them something to do, or else it will start chewing things, pushing things off shelves etc. 7. Basic nutrition. Don't feed them crap. If I were to eat the same meal every day, at least make it wholesome. Ask your vet. 8. Keep the cone on. Does your pet understand Fluffy, don't fucking touch that saw, or I swear to god you are paying the vet bill? I don't think so. Plus they don't pay the bill. 9. Know the meds your pet is on. God forbid you need to go to the and you have no clue what is in their serum. 10. If you and your spouse own a pet, dramatic pause for all support staff. Be on the same page and communicate with each other. Or just tell us to only contact person A for all matters concerning Fluffy and ignore person B for medical decisions. Many do reproduce sexually. I now have this vision of other dogs budding like amoebas. That threw me off too. But then I remembered some dogs are overbred to the point where they can't actually do the deed on their own. I read this as Vegetarians of Reddit for a solid 5 minutes. My brain could not compute for the life of me. It wasn't 5 minutes, but I saw vegetarians too. Ha.